Okay, so once again, I'm back and I'm going to be recommending 3 anime for you guys to watch. But before we get on with the video, remember to like and subscribe. So without further ado, let's get on with the recommendations. So the first anime I'm going to recommend is Inu Yashiki. Inu Yashiki is a dark, violent sci-fi anime that's less about robots and more about what people choose to do with power. But if I did have to simplify, it is about like these humanoid robots that are humans that can change into robots. The anime starts with a quiet, lonely old man who everyone just kind of ignores, including his own family. But one night he finds out he has terminal cancer, and before he can even process that, an alien accident blows him apart. The aliens rebuild him, but instead of putting him back as a normal human, they unknowingly turn him into a living weapon. His body is now a biochemical machine with insane abilities like super strength, flight, regeneration, and weapons hidden inside him. But he still feels human on the inside, and that's the whole point, which he uses his powers to save people, heal the sick, and quietly try to prove that his life matters. But at the same time though, a teenage boy who was also caught in the same accident and gets the same powers, but he goes in the complete opposite direction. Because he was already feeling disconnected, angry, and emotionally numb, and now that he has these powers, he basically just uses it for evil. He starts killing people without remorse, and violence for him becomes a way to feel alive and powerful. And one thing I remember specifically about this anime is the way in which this guy actually offed people. Like, they show it. They show it. If you know what I mean, or once you do watch it, you'll see what I mean. The story becomes a moral collision between these two characters, an old man who's never been respected but desperately wants to do good, and then you had the young guy who had his entire life ahead of him, and then he just threw it away basically. I personally feel like this anime is very much underrated. I think it does have mixed reviews, but when I watched it, I really enjoyed it. Not just for the action scenes, which especially in the later episodes are really good, but it's just the whole moral dilemma. I like series like that in general, but this one itself, the way it was set up with the two people having the same, situation, but then just going in completely different directions, I just found the whole thing really interesting and I would definitely recommend it. The next anime I'm going to recommend is Darwin's Game. Darwin's Game is basically a modern survival anime where an ordinary high school kid downloads a mysterious mobile game thinking it's harmless, but then immediately finds out it's a very real and very deadly game. The app pulls players into a secret death game where they're forced to fight each other in the real world, and each player is given a unique supernatural ability called a sigil, which can range from insanely overpowered to deceptively weak depending on how smart you are with it. And the main character's ability lets him create objects, which sounds simple at first, but he survives by using strategies instead of brute force. And as he gets deeper into the game, he runs into other players who treat him with pure chaos, and others who actually enjoy killing, because you have stuff like gangs, factions, all of that in this series. This series really leans into that tension between people who adapt morally versus those who completely lose themselves, while slowly revealing that the game is being run by unseen organizers with their own twisted goals. This is one of those animes where I feel like you don't really have to be into anime itself to enjoy, because this sort of plot is something that you could find anywhere else to be enjoyable if it wasn't anime itself. It's one of those series where it just has that very simple plot that pretty much anybody could get into, and I just find it really interesting. The next anime I'm going to recommend is Beautiful Bones: Sakurako's Investigation. This series is a mystery anime that's way more about atmosphere and thinking than it is about action. It follows this main character, a brilliant but socially blunt osteologist who's obsessed with bones, human bones specifically, and a normal high school guy who gets dragged along as her assistant. Each arc centers on a strange case involving skeletal remains, and instead of flashy crime drama, the show focuses on carefully obstruction, logic, and emotional weight behind and why people die. And the emotional weight behind how and why people die. What makes it stands out is Sakurako herself. She's like cold, sharp, and just morally rigid, but is clearly driven by a deep respect for the dead. And as the series goes on, the mysteries start to connect to a darker theme of abuse, loneliness, and injustice. And there's an underlying sense that some truths don't actually bring comfort, just understanding. If I had to make one complaint about this anime, I would say that it is definitely more of a slow burn, and it could have had something like romance to it, which it really doesn't have, but I do feel like it could have, structured that into the story. But generally speaking, this is more of a slice of life series. If you like slice of life, then you will like this. But if you're expecting like a fast-paced action series with like a lot of thrill, this is not really that. At its core, this is a slice of life. And that's pretty much it for this video, guys. Remember to like and subscribe. Thanks for watching.
Like Darwin under sweat or